Good evening, ladies and gents. As you are coming in, if you can hear my screen, if you can hear my voice, and you can see my screen, please raise your hand on the Zoom application, or give me a text. Hands coming in plenty. Thank you very much. Evening, ladies and gents. Njabulo Nsibande here. Welcome back to the VillageTrader series. Apologies. Last week the webinar expired and we forgot to. We missed to renew it. So it's back now. Everything is back to normal. I just want to have a quick note on the markets and how the portfolio performed on the in the midst of the storm that we had the past couple of weeks. Some of it. Now it's starting to shake off the storm. Looks like the sun is starting to coming out again. The market had a sort of tough couple of weeks as Tencent was trading lower, dragging Naspers and Process down with them, and those two dragging the entire market down. So there was a nice turn to the market today. So a lot of stocks are starting to turn around. So what happened to in the portfolio? I can just quickly bring this side. I got stopped out on a lot of trades. The net results of which meant I was up only about 3%. So the cash balance was up about 3% in the midst of that wind. But I wanna touch on what's remaining now on the portfolio. So think of these stocks as branches in a tree, right? And on a misty on a misty day, particularly these small holdings and the bigger holdings as the main stem of the tree. So when the wind comes, it shakes off a lot of branches. A lot of branches lose some leaves, and you'd find stuff on the floor. So a lot of when there's wind in the market, when there's some panic selling, even if it's like short-term panic selling, the portfolio would shake off a bunch of in inverted commas weaker stocks, and starts to and keep the stronger stocks. And the very fact that they survived the wind signals the strength of those stocks, and those are the ones that tend to rally when the sun shines again. So a similar phenomena happened. So you'd remember these calculations are calculated based on the worst case scenario, meaning if all the stop loss would be hit, which is my absolute risk, what would happen? So in this instance, I lost a lot of these trades that were not in profit. If you remember, trades that are in profit were sitting at about 20%, and the trades in loss were sitting at about 80%. And the total stocks were, I think I was holding about 20 to 25 stocks, somewhere there. Because I got stopped about 9 or so times in the month of March, somewhere there. So it took off half the number of stocks in my portfolio. So what's remaining is that more of what's remaining is the stocks that are already in profit, showing their strength, and less of so a lot of the stocks that were already were losing money has been shaken off. So I'm holding pretty strong stocks, and as the market starts to turn, as we'll see just in a moment, the markets are starting to turn. What's remaining in the portfolio is starting to turn as well. So I did get stopped out on ABSA. I think it was just at about 1% profit. So you guys can check out the trading journal. It will be in the video description below, or you can just go on the VillageTrader website. The link to the trading journal is there, so you can kind of see where exited the position and what was the P&L in rand and percentage and percentage forms. So I jumped back in because when the wind blows, you will also lose some of the strong stocks, because you know your stop loss got taken out as the market was falling. So you will lose some of the good stock, which is not a problem, because you'll just jump back in when the opportunity represents itself. So I jumped back in on ABSA. So, you know, holding that support, bouncing off that 50-day exponential moving average. So as it came back above that 50-day exponential moving average, I rebuilt the position. So now it broke a level. So before raising my stop, I'll still be cautious, because I'm still not sure what's the level of volatility in the market. So I'm gonna let it be for now, and not rush to raise my stop loss. African Rainbow. So the commodities cooled off from that rally after the invasion of Russia in Ukraine. So now they're still consolidating. Similarly with the resources prices is still consolidating. I think it's more around uncertainty with what's happening with the war. So we have a nice bullish flag continuation pattern on African Rainbow Minerals. I'm waiting for a breakthrough that, but I won't raise my stop just as yet. I'm going to wait for the market to take out that 289 level, and then I'll raise my stop loss to just below that 50-day exponential moving average to around 250. Guys, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A box. And on the chat box, and I'll also your chat requests as well. Feel free to drop them now, and then as soon as I'm done, we'll pick those, so you don't have to wait till the end to send in your chat request. So Anglo as well consolidating, but looks like it's holding that uptrend line. What used to be a resistance on the other side, and which held before as support, looks like that's holding so far. So let's wait and see how the market reacts to that trend line there. A Bidvest looking very nice, floating just above that 50-day exponential moving average. So I'm going to wait for the market to make a new high close as it closes through that 230, and then I'll raise my stop loss to just below those lows there. And I'm sure the 50-day exponential moving average would have caught up as well. So I'm just going to be jogging my stop loss for now on this trade. Ooh, nice breakout on Capitec, but I will hold off on raising my stop loss, because I want to raise it to that 2036 level, just because the Capitec rallies have been quite a hard hold, and then I wasn't going to add to the position anyway if I was raising my stop loss, because it'd still be below that last entry price. So I'm just going to wait for it for another green candle. If we get another green candle, then I'll raise my stop loss here on Capitec. Looking very, very nicely, making a new high close. In fact, it's a new all-time high, which is makes me want to rethink what I want to do on this trade. Maybe I want to raise my stop loss to that break-even point and add to my position. And if you look at volume there, that was on increased volume from yesterday, which is good. But holding a 50 ticks, but there's so much wind at the back of this trade. So I'm gonna ponder it after the show today. If I'm raising my stop loss to around break even and adding to this position. Looks like financials had a good day. Looks like the sun is back. Financials are looking very nice. Discovery breaking, making a new relative high. Looks like the breakout there is starting to unfold. Another one that I got stopped out on that sort of there is took out that low testing the 50-day exponential moving average. So I jumped back in on that bullish engulfing candle and on the following day on discovery. So I'm going to raise my stop loss to just below the gap there, just below that 50-day exponential moving average, and hold off a little bit on adding to my position. And then for that, I have to jump back to my weekly chart. Perhaps so if we jump back to those all-time highs there, to those prior highs, not that. I want to go back and pick a level. Looks like that's a much better level. So I'm going to now wait for the market to close above 186, at which point I'll probably raise and add to the position. Let's see. Yeah, I'll probably be raising. When the market closes above 186, I'll probably raise and add to my position. Maybe I'll be raising my stop loss to around that level. But for now, I'm going to raise it to just below the 50-day exponential moving average to 153, but I won't be adding on the position as yet. Xero looking like it's holding that 50-day exponential moving average. Look at buyers looking to defend the moving average. So I'm gonna wait for it to come back and make a new high above that 225 level. At which point I'll raise my stop loss to there, just below the doji, just below the 50-day exponential moving average, and then I'll add to my position as my stop loss will be above my entry point, but only add 1% because still just a little bit over break even when that happens. Banks are looking very nice today. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on Capitec. There's a fair bit of wind at the back. Look at that, nice breakouts on the weekly charts. See how that looks like on the daily charts. That is looking that is looking like a jam. So now I'm gonna wait for it to break above that 76 rand level. So just 3 rands away. So I'm gonna wait for it to break above 36 rand. When they make a new high, I will add to the position. Yeah, I will add to the position because I'm sure my stop loss would be somewhere at that break-even point. I'm liking how this chart is looking like at the moment, but I do expect the market to have a bit of a reaction at that 76 rand price. So I'm expecting the market to bounce off once it touches that 76 rand level. I don't expect that the market should just pass right through that level. So I'm expecting a bit of a reaction there. Glencore is looking nicely. I think it's going to come to retest that trend line there, forming that ascending triangle pattern. But that's going to take some time, maybe in the next 3 or so weeks. Yeah, but it requires some of these trades, man. They require some patience. They take some time to build. So I think this is going to take about maybe 2 or so months to build it, if at all. If it does build that ascending triangle pattern. So I think it's going to come to test that 50-day exponential moving average. And I don't think it's going to break anytime soon. I think the only time it's going to break is when there's more and more clarity around the war in Europe. Goldfield's jumping back into the lower box, but floating halfway through. I'm going to wait for it to come back above the 256 rand level. Then I'm going to raise my stop loss first to around 209. I'm not going to hurry it above 223. So I'm going to take it slowly for now on these commodity stocks. I don't want to be too aggressive on my stop on these commodity stocks. So Investec, I took some good profits. I had that really nicely. I took about 20% profits on that trade. That was that one that moved the needle, pushed the drawdown back to about break even. It did save a lot of face there. So I rebuilt it almost immediately. I rebuilt the position when it came back above the 50-day exponential moving average. So now I'm waiting for the market to make a new high, at which point I'll raise my stop loss just below that gapping candle there, and add to the position. And this bank's starting to run. Most likely this Investec as well will follow suit in the next few days. MTN, another one I think is going to form an ascending triangle pattern. I think it's just going to bounce off and come back to test the 50-day exponential moving average. I'm waiting. It's going to take some time before the market breaks that 208 level. I'm going to wait for the market to break that level. And I don't think I'll be adding to the position as yet, because that last entry point was still quite high. So I'm gonna it's gonna be a while before I can add to this position, which is great, which is fine. But I will just be jogging my stop loss behind me. Now, them holding the 50 exponential moving average did close above it today, ever so slightly. Just waiting for close through that 258 rand level. Really, I think we're going to have a rally above 276. So I don't think the stock is going to do anything special below the 276 level. I got caught on the golden cross there. Yeah, I don't think the stock is going to do anything special below 276. But it's worth a hold. It's worth a hold, I suppose, if the stop loss is not hit, and maybe a bit of dividends coming in. But I'm waiting for the 276 rand price without panicking. Royal Bafokeng, all commodities were just consolidating along with the commodities themselves, but they all seem to be holding their respective 50-day exponential moving averages. So with this one, I'm going to wait for a close above a new high close, above 181. At which point I'll raise my stop loss ever so slightly to just below the 50-day exponential moving average. Sibanye, looking very nicely, also holding that 50-day exponential moving average. They did come up with some strong results. I think it was a week or so ago. Looking very, 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 very good. So I'm also gonna wait for the new high close above 76 rand. But really, yeah, man, if we can make a new high at that 76 rand 76 rand level, we'll really start to see Sibanye run. And with the commodities, if the commodities start to run, man, Sibanye will have a rally. Standard Bank looking very nicely, building a nice ascending triangle pattern, holding that 50-day exponential moving average. I didn't even try today to break out, so I'm waiting for a breakout. I'm not in a hurry to raise my stop loss. The moment maybe above those levels. Yeah, maybe above those levels. Yeah. That is some nice support, held quite a lot. It was penetrated a few times, but broadly speaking, that held from either side. So I'm going to wait for the I'm going to wait for that 178 rand level to raise my stop. Maybe add to the position, but still monitoring. I would think that 178 level will hold first. I think it's going to hold to come back and retest that trend line there, and also retest the 50-day exponential moving average. What about that? And last but not least is Vodacom. So let's jump back to the weekly chart. So Vodacom has lagged MTN by a mile. Vodacom has lagged the MTN by a mile. So maybe it's time for Vodacom to run. Maybe it's time for Vodacom to run. So I'm gonna wait for a break above those level 158 and 167, perhaps not to add to the position until above 167. It's quite helpful to go back to the weekly chart and have a broad view at what happens, especially when it looks like it's a new high. But going back into a weekly chart to have a look at what happened the last time the market went at this level, since we haven't been here for a while. So what happened the last time the market was here. So if there was a fair bit of selling and there was a fair bit of support and resistance in the past, it is more likely that the market will react in a similar fashion again in the future. But it doesn't always happen like that, but it more often than not happens like that. So we have a question first. We have a question from Marlo on Anglo American. Okay, let me pull up my trading view. This one, just a moment. Guys, if you have questions, feel free to send them in. And in the meantime, forget it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just forget it. Just reminding me that we started this journey back in 2020 March. And thank you, man, for the support and for the continuous support since my journey as a trader started back in March. When I started the podcast and started to document my journey up to me finding my edge and finding my own competency, because I've been learning throughout the process, learning alongside you guys, and sharing as I learn. And now, I got, I stumbled my way forward into profitability, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys that come and join us each and every evening and hold me accountable. Ask questions, and I'm really, really appreciative of all the support. Thank you guys very much, and thank you for reminding me of what a journey it has been, man. We 2 years in. We 2 years into this journey, and hopefully one day we'll do it live somewhere. Maybe we'll do it live at the JC. Someday in the future, maybe if we do it 100th episode or something like that, and when we are allowed to go into crowded places, and maybe we'll do this at the JSE, man. Yeah, thanks for the reminder, man. Appreciate it. If this would load. Otherwise, if you have comments on how you guys handle the wind that we have the past couple of weeks, it was messy. It was messy. I haven't seen what the Fed has decided on, or if there were there any rate cards, or the rates stay the same. I haven't had a chance to look at the market. It was a busy day today. Did they raise interest rates? If this would load. In the meantime, feel free, guys, to send in your chat requests as well, on the Q&A box and the chat request. And remember to subscribe on the channel. The video to these will be up a couple of hours after the show, and will be made available on YouTube. APSA. Nelis wants to look at APSA while that loads. So APSA made a new relative high, because we haven't seen these levels since. Okay, let me jump back again. It's always good to jump back into even a monthly chart, man. Look at that. You can imagine what's going to happen when the market breaks 201. It's going to be like water just flooding off. And I think, I'm not sure if you guys know what the decision with the Feds was today. Please let me know. And I think it would explain why the banks were running, which I think, which means I will add on that captive trade again. So looking at that monthly chart, man, we're chasing new highs rapidly fast. So if you can break that 201 level, it's gonna, yeah, man, that's gonna be fun, to say the very least. So if you look at the weekly charts, the market respected that 206 level. The market showed some respect for that 206 level, and it's also breaking. Look at that. Because if you see here, the market had a respect for 183. So if you can see here, you can see the market broke to the downside, and sellers held it very strongly. When the market came back here, sellers held it again, and just before it got hammered quite hard back again. And we haven't seen these levels since we haven't closed above 183 since 2019. We haven't seen these levels since 2019, which is very, very, very significant, which gives me it's a different view now on this on APSA. I'll still raise my stop loss to that 50-day exponential moving average, but I think I'll be adding to these position fairly quickly. At the market, if the Feds did raise hike, or at least signal that they would, I think it's going to be quite massive on the financial stocks. So have a look out on these banking stocks. So with Anglo Modulo, man, I think we're still good. I think this trade is still holding very nicely. If this is a weekly chart, it's coming to retest an old resistance level which held for quite for about a month or so as support. I think this level will definitely hold, but I think the noise with the war, it's kind of throwing a bit of wind back and forth on these commodity stocks. But I think we're still on the long side is still the right side on these commodity stocks, generally speaking. And technically, it's still holding from the technical analysis perspective. Let me jump back to that weekly chart to give that long-term view. Man, it's still looking very good. Still looking very good. So if you're holding and your stop is not hit, I'd still be holding. Maybe we will test that support trend line. And if you're holding for really long term, you can continue to hold. I think I'll be holding if I'm holding for a really long term. But if that low, this low here below, what's the low? 664. That low there, if that's taken out, that's where I would be placing my stop if I was in the trade, but I'm not. But otherwise, it's a matter of maybe waiting for a reversal pattern around 628. But wait and see if there is a reversal pattern on a daily chart currently at the current levels at that 688 level. So if we can maybe get a doji tomorrow or a bullish engulfing candle, something along those lines, maybe we'll see the stock starts to turn. And in the short term, let's see how that low there holds up. But in the short term, I think it's worth holding. It's worth looking out for a reversal pattern on Anglo. It's worth putting a reversal pattern. It was ex-div, so yeah, I think if it was just dividends, I think it would come and test that 66 rand level and find some a reversal pattern and bounce back higher. If it's just ex-div, then It's fine, man. Again, dividends caught me because I had a position on implants. It means again dividends caught me again. Man. I need to improve in watching out for those dividends. So Himesh is looking for redefine. You're welcome, Nellis. Welcome, Nellis. Ew. I'm I'm not too thrilled with the stock at the moment. I think it requires a fair bit of waiting. I think you can start to take your chances above that 474 level. I think for now, just wait. For now, just wait. Wait for at least a break above 474. Because I don't think it's going to do anything special above that level. And there's still the weight on the shoulders on around work from home or not work from home. So the property market is still not on strong grounds. So I would hold off for now. But if you're already holding, it's not a bad idea to sell. It's not a bad idea rather to hold and collect those dividends from the REITs. But if you're not in already, I would wait on the sidelines. Cool. No, I don't see questions coming in. So we're gonna park it here for the evening. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you for reminding us of the journey that we've been in. The video will be up in a few hours. So remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you get the notification when on the videos app. And also I run a trading coaching session at 5:30 in the morning. If you're interested in that, feel free to email me at Njabulo at VillageTrader.co.za. It does come at a cost. But videos to which I do upload some of them on YouTube, so you can check those out. And that comes with one-on-one sessions when we're looking at your trading, looking at parts of your trading that we could look to improve. When more intimate engagement with you, trying to understand yourself, I'll help you try to understand yourself as a trader and find your edge and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in such, email Njabulo at VillageTrader.co.za. Otherwise, thank you guys, and we'll do this again next week. Have a great evening. Cheers.